I can hit him with a fix, quite slick with a stick, and she thick with them hips to the lick, leave a tip of that trick and a trick when she twists. If you tryna get a hit, these balls are the bricks, get a fix, no calls when I whip this hard when you sniff. On guard, get a split, see stars when I spit this lit. Hey, tempt me, I'm a tempy, new era, zoning, FE next, young Ronin. I go in like Conan, I rise on you sons, now you moaning. I'm cogent, my code is unbroken, my codec compressed and unloaded.
Whoever sees this and subscribes right now will get a free first-person shooter. Downfall and Crash Out not included. What's going on, Hilltop Mafia? It's the one and only Knox Hill, and we are back with our reaction series. So today, man, you guys know the homework, you know the assignment. We're going track by track on this album, and judging by the comment section so far, there's been a lot of people looking forward to this one, so I'm excited to see what this is about. Right here, right now, we got Man at the Garden. But before we get any further, listen, if you like the hat that I'm wearing, you like the shirt that I'm wearing, knoxhillmusic.com. We almost sold out of these white chaos hats. Go cop yours while you can. We got hats, we got shirts, we got hoodies. If you want to rep the brand, support it, especially over the Christmas period, it really does go a long way and help. I'll put all links down there. But anyways, know what we're here for. Kendrick, step back up to the plate. Let's see what you got. There's no way. No way. No.
Twice emotional stability, a sound body entering.
No. I don't even know what do you do when you get up? Like what are you supposed to do? What? This is a moment. This is a moment. This is why I love this job, man. This is wow. Two of my favorite artists of all time coming together. This right here is one of the most iconic songs in hip hop. And I want to get the MIDI chords for this because I wonder if they just took the MIDIs and then obviously dropped them into slightly different adjusted instrumentation. But the tempo, the pacing, the hits, everything's the same. We just don't have the church bell. In this case, you got strings dropping in. But come on. All I need is one mic. All I need is one mic. All I need is one mic. That's it. It's there. It's right there. Yo. This is already incredible. I haven't even heard him rap it all yet. You hear the rain too, it just adds to a different mood, a different vibe, a different feel. Man at the Garden. Now I'm thinking about shout out to NAS, baby. NAS, Madison Square Garden. We know Kendrick has a place in NYC. He talked about on murals, right? He talked about who's the one person who congratulated him. Who congratulated him on the Super Bowl? It wasn't West Coast. It was Nas. I don't think it's a coincidence that all of a sudden we got a Nas cut onto this. One of the most iconic Nas tracks. It's Kendrick's way of paying homage to Nas. Wow. It all connects. Ha! Man.
Twice emotional stability, a sound body and tranquility. I deserve it all. Like minds and less enemies. Stock investments, more entities. I deserve it all. VVS's white diamonds, GNX with the seat back reclining. I deserve it all. Oof. Put my homes on a beachfront. Flying private, what you eat for lunch. I deserve it all. The respect and the accolades. Lamping on the island, watching Castaway. I deserve it all. For every good that passed away, sent 2.5 million on the average day. I deserve it all. Keep my name by the world leaders. Keep my crowds loud inside a beat, so I deserve it all. More money, more power, more freedom. Everything heaven allowed us. I deserve it all.
Wow.
I deserve it all. I deserve it all.
Wow. Man, this is beautiful. And you know what? Much in the same way that Nas goes, all I need is one mic, and he's got sort of that coarser, drop-down voice. Kendrick, one line hanging. Nas, all I need is one mic. For Kendrick, it's I deserve it all. And he just has that drop down delivery and just lets that sit and let that just echo out into the mix and marinate while you have sort of this just humming, like almost this choir-like humming off to the sides, creating that atmosphere and that buzz as it all rises, man. Everything's scaled back in terms of instrumentation. It's not like it's over-the-top production of crazy stuff happening, but everything feels like it has the right time and the right place and the right just tweaking in the mix and spacing and depth. It's actually a really dope mix. This is why I recommend you guys invest in dope headphones so you can really appreciate what's happening with the soundscapes and stuff and the way that things sound, because this is hitting smooth, man. I love this already. Break down some of these lines.
Put my homes on a beachfront, flying private. What you eat for?
Hang on, let's bring it back to the side.
Like my no stability. Twice emotional stability, a sound body and tranquility. I deserve
twice emotional stability, sound body and tranquility. And I've said this before, even though he's been involved in this war, even though there's this aggression, it feels like a controlled aggression. Because Miss Morale and the Big Steppers, you had just that psychoanalysis of Kendrick. You know, that Eckhart Tolle just deep dive into his world, into his past traumas, his generational trauma, and he came to peace with it. Right? And he found a way to deal with it and to heal. And it feels like you still have that Kendrick, but it now exists in this interesting duality where you have this man who's at peace and he feels like a monk, but then on the flip side, it's almost like he's this warrior monk, right? His spirit animal is guided by a predator at the same time. He's still a dangerous man and he still doesn't mind conflict, but it feels like that sword has been sharpened, and that conflict for him is much like a holy war. It's for a purpose. And for him, it's for the culture. It's for hip hop. It's for legacy. And that I deserve it all, it's a simple statement, but that to me is a response to all the hate that was spinning around in his whacked out murals track, especially regarding the Super Bowl, right? And again, people saying that, oh, it should have been given to Wayne, should have been given here. Kendrick's going, I deserve it all. This is his way of letting us know, no, it's my time. This is mine.
Twice emotional stability, a sound body and tranquility. I deserve it all. Like minds and less enemies. Stock investments, more entities. I deserve it all. VVS's white diamonds, GNX with the seat back reclining. I deserve it all.
GNX with the seat back reclining. The GNX gets a shout out. Remember when I did the first breakdown of this, I talked about the significance of the GNX, right? 1987 car, classic, same year that Kendrick was born. And this is a Kendrick vibe, isn't it? For me, Kendrick is really dope at taking nostalgic sounds and having that connection of that old school hip hop soul, but finding a way to reinvigorate it, to make it interesting, to somehow make it feel fresh and modern and different for today's era. As exemplified through taking a classic like Nas's One Mic and then flipping it into something like this and in this way.
Diamonds, GNX with the seat back reclining. I deserve it all. Put my homes on a beachfront, flying private. What you eat for lunch? I deserve it all. The respect and the accolades, lamping on the island, watching Castaway. I deserve it all.
I just love that. The irony of that, lamping on an island. I'm chilling on an island, watching a movie about a dude who's been deserted, Tom Hanks, on an island while he's trying to get off.
The respect and the accolades, lamping on the island, watching Castaway. I deserve it all. For every good that passed away, sent 2.5 million on the average day. I deserve it all. Keep my name by the world leaders. Keep my crowds loud inside a beat, so I deserve it all.
Crowds loud inside Ibiza. And he's had a lot of Spanish influences and even Spanish language on these tracks too.
Money, more power, more freedom. Everything heaven allowed us. I deserve it.
More money, more power, more freedom. You know, the saying more money, more problems is kind of flipped in this sense. Like more money gives him more power, and that gives him time and gives him more freedom. And that's something important, I think, about money. Is money, one thing money can buy you. It's not going to buy you happiness, but money can definitely buy you some time to maybe pursue that happiness and to search for it.
More money, more power, more freedom. Everything heaven allowed us. I deserve it all. I deserve it all.
You know what's wild is you have this humming, and there's certain moments when it sounds like there's little instrumentation hits And some of it sounds like, because they're on such a similar frequency, there's like a subtle just nuance to it, that it's like the humming really sounds like it's the instruments as well. Like they have just that same hit and that same frequency, and it's hard to like kind of differentiate the two. And it's just like a really dope way of how this all stacks and sits in the mix.
I deserve it all.
And what's that right there? That sounds like a whisper, and I wonder what he said there. That's it. That's all we get. But I love just creating that sense of intrigue. You know, we can fill in the blanks later for his art. That's what we do with Kendrick.
Cause my intentions was pure. Even when you wasn't sure, even with every allure. How much temptation you endured. You probably look for every cure. I said I deserve it all. I'm waking up at 6 a.m. 6 miles a day, conditioning my wind. I said I deserve it all. I'm showing up as your friend, telling truths better than your next of kin. I said I deserve it all. I never asked for too much credit, seeking validation just for the aesthetics. I deserve it all. I see you as a human first, even when you didn't understand your worth. I deserve it all. It's innate to mind my business, writing words, trying to elevate these children. That's why I deserve it all. Pray for those who prayed against me. Every reason why my ancestors sent me. I deserve it all.
Well, that's a verse and a half right there. And now he's establishing why he deserves it all. And the time that he's put into his grind, the dedication. This feels like someone who has been honing and mastering his craft for years and years. And he's finally starting to feel the fruition of all that and enjoying the fruits of his labor. But there's some lines here to break down too.
I said I deserve it all. I never asked for too much credit, seeking validation just for the aesthetics. I deserve.
Never asked for too much credit, seeking validation via the aesthetics. A lot of artists seeking that validation just for the sake of being able to promote it, to spin it as a marketing gig. Again, it just feels like it wasn't just a battle with Drake for Kendrick. For Kendrick, it was a battle of his morals and of his principles and his views of the industry and his views of hip hop.
I'm showing up as your friend, telling truths better than your next of kin. I said I deserve it all.
Even that line, telling truths better than your next of kin. Like I've always stayed pure of spirit. I've always stayed true to myself. And hang on, I just realized I didn't even bring it back far enough. I'm getting so caught up and lost in this, man. It's just, I just want to close my eyes and feel this if I'm being honest with you. But I got to like put on the analytical hat and break this down.
Pure, even when you wasn't sure, even with every... Cause my intentions was pure. Even when you wasn't sure, even with every allure.
My intentions was pure, right? Even when you wasn't sure, you was getting distracted and falling into these temptations. And I wonder who that understood you is, right? Because again, you could apply it to Drake, but you could apply it to a number of people in the industry and people who he came up with too. And he had a different path. And he definitely feels like an outsider a lot of times, looking into a lot of people who gave into that life and that glamour and celebrated and glorified it.
Much temptation you endure.
He always felt like he was on more of a spiritual journey, you know?
You probably look for every cure. I said I deserve it all. I'm waking up at 6 a.m. 6 miles a day, conditioning my wind. I said I deserve it.
And he goes for a run 6 miles every day at 6 a.m. Right? He has that training and that dedication, right? Just building up those lungs and that cardio. One, to stay healthy, take care of yourself. But two, listen, I can tell you that too. Back on my show circuit, playing shows now, there's nothing more important than your cardio for being able just to control yourself throughout your set, for your delivery. And yeah, you got to take care of yourself. You got to train yourself, man.
I'm showing up as your friend, telling truths better than your next of kin. I said I deserve it all. I never asked for too much.
That piano hits right there for me, makes me think of the church bells in Nas's One Mic. And I feel like that replaces that, right? There's a lot of studying and a lot of details and similarities between the two, man. Context is key.
Credit seeking validation just for the aesthetics. I deserve it all. I see you as a human first, even when you didn't understand your worth. I deserve it all.
I see you as a human first, even though you didn't understand your worth. And that for me, again, everything is greater, right? I don't see your celebrity. I don't see your fame. I don't see your status. I don't see the labels that society puts on you. I see something deeper. And this is again, tying in with themes of Miss Morale and the Big Steppers and Kendrick looking into the humanity in everyone, but also more importantly, his humanity too. And there's a lot of tie-ins of that, man. This is like philosophical time with Kendrick. Just sit down and explore your own spirituality.
It's innate to mind my business, writing words, trying to elevate these children. That's why I deserve it all. Pray for those who prayed against me. Every reason why my ancestors sent me. I deserve it all.
There's that reincarnation theme. Every reason my ancestors sent me. And then before that, pray for those who prayed against me. P-R-E-Y. Those predators who are preying on me. I even pray for my enemies, right? Flipping it on that.
I deserve it all. I deserve it all.
This might be my favorite cut on the album so far.
Put a smile on my mama. Good health and good karma, yeah, she deserves it all. 100 murals out in Compton. Remember me, I kept my promise, yeah, we deserve it all. A better life for my daughter, made my son take it further than his father, yeah, he deserves it all. A close relationship with God, whispered to me every time I close my eyes. He said, you deserve it all. Keep these away from me, keep all my blessings faithfully, keep my essence contagious, that's okay with me. I burn this down, don't you play with me and stay with me. I'm crashing out right now, no one's safe with me. I did it with integrity and still try hate on me, just wait and see. More blood be spilling, it's just paint to me. Dangerously, nothing changed with me, still got pain in me. Flip a coin, want the shameless me or the famous me? How annoying, does it angers me to know the lames can speak on the origins of the game I breathe? That's the same to me, it's important, I deserve it all because it's mine. Tell me why you think you deserve the greatest of all time.
Wow. Man.
I deserve it all. I deserve it all.
Smooth it out. Oh, I love that distortion at the end just to carry us out too, right? A little bit of just tension to end it on after all this smoothness. But for me, much in the same way that Nas, and I was thinking about this as we're listening, I'm like, is he going to have that build? Because Nas on his verses, right? He started here, and then he would slowly start to build, and his delivery would start to get more aggressive. Then towards the end, you had this huge crescendo, right? And this rise towards the end of the verse, just like slap you in the face, and then it drops back down to, all I need is one mic. And he did that there on this last verse, right? He had that rise. He had that aggression come in finally, that sort of crescendo, and then drop it back down one more time. I deserve it all. Now let's break down some of this, man. This is beautiful. You know what else I noticed is that this is the first time that we've got words being censored out. And I'm going to call it now because this is from Kendrick's official channel. It's interesting that this is the one with words censored out. That's got a signal to me that he intends for this to be for the radio. Maybe.
Put a smile on my mama. Good health and good karma, yeah, she deserves it all.
I love that line. Good health, and most importantly, good karma, good energy, right? Because karma is what comes back around to you. So if you're putting good energy out into the world, you want that good karma to come back around.
Murals out in Compton.
This
Good
right here
health
too.
and good karma, yeah, she deserves it all. 100 murals out in Compton.
100 murals out in Compton. That again is a dressing of whacked out murals. There's a lot of parallels and connections to that opening track here. And for him, remember I talked about the murals, not just representing obviously the literal mural that was disfigured, first by the Spanish gang and then secondly by someone who like tagged OVO on it. But for Kendrick, it led him to a greater symbolic representation of his legacy and his art and his murals. So for me, 100 murals can be taken literally in terms of what I've done for hip hop and what I'm putting on in the art that I'm giving back to my community, but also my legacy, right? I don't forget my roots of Compton. I don't forget where I came from, but I've also elevated and I've gone further. And even though you might whack out one mural, there's 100 more to follow that. And we keep growing and building.
Health and good karma, yeah, she deserves it all. 100 murals out in Compton. Remember me, I kept my promise, yeah, we deserve it all.
100 murals out in Compton. Remember me, I kept my promise. I love right there, he just like casually just like accelerates that flow and does like a slight tongue twister, and then he comes back to that drop down delivery.
A better life for my daughter, made my son take it.
You know what? Right there too, like he's so close to the mic, you just heard that breath. Like they're leaving his breaths in. Normally the engineer might like cut the breaths out in between bars in delivery, but I love that you can just like hear his breaths because it feels like we're right there in studio with him, right? It just kind of adds a little bit to that tension from it.
Then his father, yeah, he deserves it all. A close relationship with God, whispered to me every time I close my eyes. He said, you deserve it all. Keep these
There's that spirituality.
away from me, keep all my blessings faithfully, keep my essence contagious, that's okay with me. I burn this down, don't you play with me and stay with me. I'm crashing out right now, no one's safe with me. I did it with integrity and still try hate on me, just wait and see. More blood be spilling, it's just paint to me, dangerously.
That line right there. More blood be spilling. It's just paint to me. And this for me is this, again, this sort of duality of spirit. Like, again, you have this spirituality, this higher power that he's given and that he's exuding. But at the same time, like, he's still in battle mode and he's still ready for war. And I take that blood like Drake, like, he'll paint it. He'll paint the blood and he'll use that to further his art and his creation, man.
Still try hate on me, just wait and see. More blood be spilling, it just paint to me. Dangerously, nothing changed.
And it's a warning too, more blood be spilling. Just wait and see. You don't say wait and see unless there's more coming. And listen, another call, because we start reflecting now and looking at connections and parallels into the GNX when we broke down that video. And he had 2 GNXs. He loves the Gemini because he's a Gemini. And that duality. And that duality is coming out right here. Sort of, you had the monk to start this track, and now we're back to the warrior to end it. And then at the very end, we come back to the monk. And this for me is that walking that line of duality between that Kendrick who's ready for battle and violence and that Kendrick who pursues peace of spirit and peace of mind. And how does he weigh those two and how does he balance them? And this is a perfect example of him kind of coming to terms with that and coming around full circle on both sides of who he is, the shadows and the light.
Don't you play with me and stay with me. I'm crashing out.
But I think we might get a second album in the new year. I think we might get a second album next year. Because this feels very raw so far, right? This almost feels like B cuts on a track. I mean, God knows what's going to happen if he comes through with like an A side. Anyways, I'm loving it so far. And I think it's purposefully done, like not like us. It just has that really just raw, almost mixtape-like feel. You know, it's not the grandeur of past Kendrick albums with the constant themes and the switch-ups and the grand production changes and the way things are set up and the experimentation, right? There's just more, it's more simplified. It's almost like he's still battling throughout this, like he did in the way he handled the Drake beef, right? And he's just cutting through this. And I think that raw feeling and that raw essence and spirit of delivery, it just adds something different to this project too as well. It's purposefully done.
Essence contagious, that's okay with me. I burn this down, don't you play with me and stay with me. I'm crashing out right now, no one's safe with me. I did it with integrity and still try hate on me, just wait and see. More blood be spilling, it just paint to me. Dangerously, nothing changed with me, still got pain in me. Flip a coin, want the shameless me or the famous me? I would know.
There's that duality right there, right? Still got pain. Everything's the same to me. What do you want? You want the famous me or the shameless me? And for me, the famous one, right? The one who brags about his wealth and his success and has that confidence and that braggadocious spirit and that cockiness. So you want the shameless one, right? The one who really doesn't care about the fame and just has no filter. Just gives you like these raw cuts of thoughts and what I'm struggling with. Like when he talks about Miss Morale and the Big Steppers and all of that. You get both sides. Which one do you want? And a coin has 2 sides. The Gemini, that duality. It's all tying together right here.
Doesn't angers me.
Sort of like a yin and yang for Kendrick. And I think it's also very fitting that, you know, 2 simple colors on the album cover. And that duality as well, the black and the white.
Pain in me, flip a coin, want the shame.
The light and the dark within us all in our spirit.
Me or the famous me, how annoying does it angers me to know the lames can speak on the origins of the game I breathe. That's the same to me, it's important.
It angers me that the lames can speak on the origins of the game to me. And that again feels like his whole critique of Drake and his whole critique of others in the culture and watch the party die. You know, that these people who don't view the game the same as me, yet they're the ones speaking on the game. They're the ones speaking on legacy. And they're the ones who are the voice pieces that are furthering the culture. No, it's time to set the record straight. And that's just that raw passion and anger that he's giving you on this.
Does it angers me to know the lames can speak on the origins of the game I breathe. That's the same to me, it's important. I deserve it all because it's mine. Tell me why you think you deserve the greatest of all time.
Much in the same way that Nas's One Mic really made people turn around and go, yo, this is an MC right here. This is legacy for Nas. This is one of the greatest hip-hop tracks of all time. This feels like one of those moments for Kendrick, right? This is my time. This is my legacy. This is my One Mic moment.
I deserve it all.
And you tell me why you're the greatest, because I'll come for that throne.
I deserve it all.
And we end again on the One Mic sort of tempo and that rain falling down. Wow. That had a heartbeat, man. That had a pulse. That had soul. That had spirit. That had passion. That was a masterpiece to me. I really enjoyed that one. Kendrick Lamar, you were Knox Hill certified. Hope you guys like today's video. Listen, for some reason you're here at the end. Obviously, enjoy the content. Do me a huge favor. Support the channel directly. Subscribe, notifications on. You know we got more of this album to do. You don't want to miss it. Make sure you get those notifications. I'm going to keep grinding. I'm going to keep working for you. All right, I'll catch you again soon.